today's science class with Mr. Michael, the science teacher. Today we will learn something more interesting that most times maybe some people must have been wondering why this happens. But at the end of this class, you will be able to give yourself analysis. You don't want to wait for anyone to come and explain certain things to you. On your own, you will understand. Just pay attention and be attentive. Today in our science class, we'll be learning about circuits. First of all, we must know what a circuit is. A circuit, it is an enclosed part of an electric current. That means a path through which current moves about or revolves around. That is what a circuit in electric current is. That enclosed part, that particular part that current only moves, it doesn't go out of that part. In as much as the connection in the circuit does not extend that which is known as circuit, that is the only part that the current moves about, and that is referred to as a circuit. Now, we have different ways at which circuits are connected. So, we are from the drawings of the circuit, you will know the direction of the current, where it comes out from, and where it's going from. First of all, circuit is connected in majorly two different ways of connecting electric circuits. One of them is the series connection. The circuit might be connected serially, or the second one, it might be connected in parallel. Yes. Either the circuit is connected in series or it is connected in parallel. Now, the circuit diagram, like I was saying, the diagram shows you the path at which the current moves, travels, or flows. So with this diagram, you will be able to, in case there is a fault, you will be able to know where to start or think of how does this fault come about and how do I resolve it. First of all, let's look at series connection. In series connection, the current flows in through one part and comes back through the other part. For example, you have a battery, or let's draw the battery, confirm diagram of the battery. This side is positive, this side is negative. Now the positive side comes out with its wire, and this is our lighting point, which is the bulb. This is the second point, or we call it a cell, or we'll make it the third point. Now, these bulbs here, they have filaments inside of them. The thing that glows, those that glows inside an electric bulb is called the filament. It has this one here, its filament, so also this one. Now, the current comes out from here, enters the first bulb, enters the second bulb, the third one, and comes out through the negative. So that means the current is flowing this way. Now, this type of connection is called the series connection. In this series connection, it has its effects. Number one of the effects of series connection is that negatively, if one of the lights goes off, example, now that it's fully connected, the light is on. If one of these lights goes off or one of the bulbs blows, because the current that enters here, there is no other wire that joins it. The current enters the light, the bulb, goes through the filament of the bulb to back to another wire and keeps flowing. One of the effects is that, or one of the characteristics of this circuit is that if one of the bulbs blows off, the whole circuit will be shut down. No single bulb will work. Or if this wire cuts at this point, the whole light will go off. If the wire cuts at this point, the whole of the 3 lights will go off. That is one of it. One thing that happens with series connection. Another thing is the light or the bulb glows very small. It doesn't glow that much bright like a parallel connection, because the filament, each bulb, as the current is flowing, once it gets to the first filament of the bulb, the filament is not that strong to carry high voltage through it. The light will drop before it goes to the next one. When it gets to the next bulb, it will drop. When it goes to the third one, it will drop. So you see that it won't be that much bright. That means the higher the number of your lighting points, the number of the bulbs or the light, the higher the number of the light, the smaller or the lesser, the lower the current goes. But if you increase the light without increasing the battery or the cell, that is how the light will keep going down. Because even as a human being, the more they add weight to you, the more you get weaker. That is what happens in parallel connection. Now, this is a complete circuit of parallel connection. Now, from the bulb, we have what we call the switch. Mind you, the switch does not come at the point at which the current is going out through the negative side. But the fact is that you can even fix it here. The only thing is that don't put the switch at the point at which the light has already flowed round. So that in case you want to work, you can put off the switch wherever it is. So from here, your switch will be here. This is the symbol for the switch. Your switch will be here. If you like, you include a buzzer. What does a buzzer do? A buzzer helps to give out a signal whenever the light is turned on. What does that mean? For example, we have some places we have alarms. Once you put on a light, or you open the door, or you touch anything, you see that there will be a sound that will come out as an alarm. That is how buzzers work. So after the positive side of the battery comes your battery. Comes your switch. So that from here you can switch the light on or switch it off. Switch the light on and switch it off. If it is electric current, it is more preferable if your switch is put before the light, so that in case you want to work with any of the bulbs, you put off the switch and work with them. But if you put the switch at the back, even if you off the switch, the positive side that light current is flowing through will still carry light. That means you do not cut the circuit. So the switch is always allowed to come out before the point where you believe that you will work with. Now, the second circuit is the parallel circuit. In the parallel circuit, we have our battery, or we'll draw our full-time battery as we did before. This is our battery, this is the negative, that's the positive. Now, here, there is a link. We have our bulb here. This is what brings the bulb, brings power to the bulb, and also here. The next one continues here. That's the second bulb. And here, this is the third bulb. Then your switch comes here. So that when the switch is closed, the current will start flowing. When the current flows, whatever affects this bulb, the bulb will only just face it there independently. It will not affect other bulbs. For example, if the wire that comes to this bulb cut off, the bulb will off, but other bulbs will continue to light. Or if the filament of the bulb gets blown, if it blows up, other bulbs will continue to light. Not like a series connection where if one bulb goes off, all other bulbs will go off with it. Because there's only one link between them. Now, if the second bulb is the one that gets blown, if it blows up, both the first and the third one will continue to work because each of them works independently. Or if you like, before the switch, just like we talked about the buzzer, before the switch, you can even fix your buzzer. A buzzer is that code that rings like an alarm whenever light is turned on. Now the buzzer will come before the bulbs because if the buzzer don't come before the bulb, even if you on it, this bulb here, even if the bulb blows, the buzzer will continue to work because it doesn't affect it. Even if this bulb gets blown, the buzzer will still continue to work and other two bulbs will still continue to work. So in this case, each bulb works independently. Even if this bulb now cuts off here, the bulb will go off because the circuit is no longer complete. This one and this one will continue to work because the current is still flowing around the circuit. So now, whenever you are doing your own connection, it depends on what you want. Sometimes you see street lights that you see in a street, one of the wires will just drop, or one of the lights is put off, all the whole light will go off. That is not because the power source has been disconnected. It's because the line that is working with all of them is being connected from one bulb to the other, one bulb to the other. But when they are connected in series, in parallel, if the first light goes off, others will continue to work. It doesn't affect any of them in any way. Now, this is a circuit diagram of a series circuit. This is a circuit diagram of a parallel circuit. Now, sometimes when you take a circuit like this, most circuits, the names are not written here. The names of those things that you need, they are not written there. Like in a simple circuit like this, if you see something like this is the battery. We call it battery or we call it the cell. That serves as a generator for the circuit. The second one is the lamp. What is this lamp? Those bulbs that we connect for them to work, they are called the lamp. The ones we have up in our various houses, they are called the lamp. Now we have our switch. Our switches, like I drew it earlier, they have open and close. This is an open socket and this one is closed. Once this is bent down, that means it is closed. When it is closed, means it is powered on. And once it is powered on, then that means that you have closed the circuit. But when you open the circuit, that means you have turned off the light. It is open. Light is not passing through. So that means this is the open and this is the closed. So then we have the buzzer. The one that makes the sound when the light is turned on. To let you know that there's someone at the door. There's someone touching my vehicle. There's someone touching the wall of my house or touching the gate. So far, we have learned that a series connection, the current that flows follows a single path. And once it follows that single path, the light comes out from the positive and goes out through the negative. That is why once the circuit is open, that means the switch is turned off, all the light will go off. It's normal to all types of connection. Now, even if the circuit is closed, as it is now, if I close it here, that means I've powered it on. What do you think will happen? If this light spoiled, the bulb is burnt, other ones will equally off because there is nothing connecting here and here. Even the buzzer, if the buzzer is here, even the buzzer will stop to work. It will not work. But in parallel connection, if this bulb goes off, if this bulb is dead, other ones, you can see that it does not disconnect anywhere. Other ones will continue to do their work. They will continue to light. The buzzer will work. The bulbs, other bulbs will continue to light because the switch is closed. That means the light is powered on. Even if this light is fixed here and is still working, even if the one at the center is blown, other ones will continue to do their work. That means they work independently. None of them depend on any other light or any other point to make it work. So for now, we have learned much about the two different types of circuits. We've talked about the series circuit, that means circuit that is connected in series, and the circuit that is connected in parallel. Like I said earlier, this one, all of them work collectively. No one is independent. But in the parallel connection, all of them are independent. None of them is waiting for the other one to work before it works. I believe so far we have done justice to series and parallel connection. And we say that a circuit on its own is what? An enclosed path through which current or electricity flows through. As I said earlier before we start this class, my name is Mr. Michael, your science teacher. As we move on, we will know more about even advanced circuits. So I really appreciate your time with us, and if there's anything you don't understand on the circuit and the circuit diagrams, the connection and the condition that binds them, I will be pleased to receive your questions, and I will make sure I answer all your questions thoroughly and even explain more, ensuring that you understand all what we have discussed. Like I said, my name is Mr. Michael. Thank you for being there. Stay safe. God bless you. Have a nice day.